Okay, I think we're good here. Right, welcome to another mining video on YouTube. You're probably here because you're either subscribed and watching another video I'm posting, or you're just video surfing on YouTube. Point of this video is to just kind of show off my gear, because I'm going to be tearing everything down this week, and I kind of just wanted to have something to document so I can see in future or whatever, you know, just for archival purposes, just to remember what I had at some stage. So this is my mining equipment. It's got my main rig there and got a secondary rig down there. First things first, excuse the janky ass setup here. You see I've got fucking cables everywhere. You know, like power supply there that's ran off by paperclip, etc. None of this is like ideally safe. Like, I don't care. I check it every morning and night for, you know, power cable heat and wire heat, and, you know, just general maintenance checks, make sure there's no actual fire happening in this fire hazard. Right, let's just get straight into it. So, for those of you who might not know, mining rigs are essentially just grabbing a bunch of computer parts or whatever, well, graphics card mining for example, grabbing a bunch of computer parts, knocking it all together, setting it up, and it generates your virtual currency. With that virtual currency that I generate, in this case Ethereum, I can send it to the Australian exchange that I'm with, and convert it into Australian money. So pretty much it's just a, you know, pay X amount of dollars per every couple of days, and then after every couple of days you generate this much with all of your gear. This equipment is very expensive. I chose very high-end gear. Well, I was going high-end gear, and then as costs went up recently, I started getting just whatever I could get at whatever price I could get it at. So that's why I didn't continue on with the neatness, because I wanted to have like nice rigs all stacked up and everything. Like, I even bought this nice case that I can just start stacking up. Yeah, righto, so getting into it, on this particular rig we have 7 GTX1070s. They're the MSI Gaming X models, 8GB. Was planning for an 8th, but I need an adapter for that board. I'm running an Asus Z270A. They're like the best consumer boards and most popular consumer boards that everybody uses on YouTube, unless of course they're using dedicated mining boards. I do not. Mining boards don't really have resale value to the general public. With these, they're still fairly new-ish at the time of making this video, so, you know, I can sell it onto a gamer, I guess. I don't really need to keep it. I'm keeping one of the other boards I have. Right, so you can see my powered risers there. Just going up into the risers here. So it's all just specialist equipment to be able to shove that many cards into a board. So yeah, I've got all the 1070s. I've got dual power supplies on this rig, so they're Corsair HX850Is. Just kind of splitting the load here. I've got an adapter to start both of them up at the same time, you know, so I didn't have to use the paperclip for this rig anymore, just to jump start a power supply. Platinum efficiency, like 7 years warranty, very nice, and affordable too. So each card, each of the 1070s I got are doing about 31.5 to 31.9 mega hash. That's their hashing power. You can get those out of lesser cards, but lesser cards don't really have value like these cards. Like, these are literally already all sold. Like, I'm just letting it mine until mid next week, until the guy's ready to pick them up. So, yeah, they're a bit dirty right now. It's down in a garage that's actively used, so it's not the best. I will be cleaning them out, obviously, because they've been sold. Cool little RGB lights as a part of the motherboard. Pretty colours, but nobody will ever really see it except me. Well, and you guys now. Dirty fans, obviously. Pretty dusty. With my risers, I don't use SATA power. I just go straight up Molex. Don't want any potential fire hazard further, I guess, because obviously they're not really designed for it. So I just use straight Molex on the power supply. Cooler Master Fan Pros. One of them I noticed today when I came down earlier started making a weird noise. These are like brand new fans, so you know, like 3 weeks old. So that's not good. Case choice is the Veddha miner case, VEDDHA. Everybody out of China's like CNCing this stuff now, or 3D printing, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. You can usually get them off Amazon, but then every man and his dog started doing it. So good for me, because I can pick it up cheap. More spaghetti wiring down there. Got my little distribution block there for my fans, so I can just run off the power and just run them all at max speed. So yeah, that's that rig. Not really much else to say about it. Over here, in this little ghetto ass setup, there we go, left to right we've got a RX480 XFX, Sapphire Nitro RX580, MSI Gaming GTX1060 6GB, Gigabyte Aorus RX580 8GB, got a MSI RX470 8GB. I didn't even know they made 8GB versions, apparently they do. And that's a Asus Dual OC GTX1060 6GB card. Again, Corsair HX850i power supply, and another Asus Z270-A motherboard. These are actually, they're good, and as I mentioned earlier, but they're now getting like very hard to find, and well, I don't really need to worry about that anymore. This rig's drawing quite a lot of power. Finding all the BIOS mods online for the AMD cards and all that stuff, so I can't actually comfortably run the 6th card on that power supply because I'm already at 700 and something watts with it. Didn't really play too much with the power supply settings, or like the power settings of the cards. So the 480 is running on its own power supply. That's like, again, not recommended to do because it's just sitting there and it's like paper clipped in there away from metals and stuff. Just a generic fan from Bunnings or Home Depot, as you Americans like to call it, if you're watching. I know the cards are like exhausting or whatever the fuck, but it's fine right now. Like, cooling's not an issue with it. It is fairly hot in Australia. We're still in summer. Most of the cards' temperatures get up to about 55 to 60 degrees Celsius. My hottest card is the RX480 blower style cooler there. That gets up at about mid 70s, which I don't like. And it's just, you know, blast heat straight out the back. Yes, we do pay a lot for electricity in Australia. It's about 25 cents per kilowatt hour, which converts to about 20 cents per kilowatt hour American. So these two rigs are drawing about just over 2000 watt here. Again, you know, this is all going into a 10 amp board there, just over one cable, but I check it every day and the cable's not hot, board's not hot, that board's not hot, wall outlet's not hot, like everything's still good. I purely did not want to add any more onto this because the limits of the circuitry's like per outlet's supposed to be 2400 watt on 240 volt. I don't really want to exceed that, so these two rigs here, that's it. I wanted to move that one somewhere else. I've also got one upstairs. I ended up with 15 cards all up, so I've got 7 there, I've got 6 there, and I've got 2 more upstairs, so yeah. Again, like, I wanted to start, if I kept going with it, I was going to buy another 8 GPU case and start stacking them up, but that never happened. I just really want to get back into other hobbies, because literally this is where I've been. I stopped doing car audio for a long time, and I just hung to the side with mates while they're all doing their builds and, like, you know, all their stuff. And then it's like, well, I got into this, and now I'm like, well, other things are happening, other people are progressing forward. I've had my fun with this for just over a month now, and now I've got to get back to it. So all the cars are sold there. Half those cars are sold to somebody else. You know, more miners are snapping this gear up, because I reckon now is like the best time to also sell gear, because of the global GPU drought at the moment, where graphics cards everywhere are like not available easily, and if they are, the prices are like marked up through the roof, because, you know, supply and demand, because miners are ruining prices and all this stuff. Like, who cares? I mean, literally, I've sold all of these cards for more than what I paid, and, you know, they've also got the new generation, just like every other time. They got the new generation coming soon, so like the value of these will probably dip a little bit. I mean, not hard, but a little bit. And, you know, the annual January drop of currency and values and everything, you know, there was just a few things stacked up, and it's like, well, I had my fun with this, I'll probably pick it up a bit later. I've made a significant amount of money, and, you know, we'll go again another time. And I mean, I like looking at this, I really do, because, like, that's boss. If you've stuck around this long, I might as well talk about value. So everything I have right now, with my kilowatt hour cost and everything, is about $13.57 per day. And before the dip, every 2.5 to 3 days was about 200 Australian dollars. I mean, it's not much, but it's something. So during that 2.5 to 3 days where I'd make $200 or whatever, my total power cost would be about $34. So, you know, about $170 or whatever you want to call it, was just like pocket money. So, walking around money. Of course, it's not really paying off the cards, but hey, well, I've sold all the cards now for more than what I made, so there's my ROI. Yeah, so my total hash power is about 455 mega hash, which, yeah, that's what it equaled out to, and that's what it paid out. My goal was to get it up to about 700 to 1 gig, but, you know, combination of things. I haven't even gotten my first power bill for running all of this stuff yet, but I did budget everything, and hopefully if it came out right, I've got sufficient money to the side to pay for it. So, as expensive as it is. And surprisingly enough, everyone reckoned I could have ran all this at work, but I asked the people at work and they said nah. Because, you know, oh well. Alright, well, the video's already 13 minutes long. Pretty sure I documented everything I wanted. If you stuck around and you enjoyed watching this as I enjoyed running it, well, good on ya. But yeah, this is where the money pit is. Just like people in their cars. Alright, catch you next time. More car audio videos to come.